Welcome back to SoulBack. This is the R&B podcast. We have the king of R&B here, as well as the two peasants of R&B. What's going on, guys?
You are starting to work my nerves the first 10 seconds of this show, just like the rest of Twitter. So I'm going to be on one today, so just be ready. And you're going to be my target court jester of R&B.
Oh, but can we start off, guys? I mean, we have so much to talk about, and I don't even know where to begin, but let's start out with a food discussion here. Ed, I tried okra for the first time the other week.
And you're alive to tell the tale? You're a better man than me. Kyle, did you have it fried, or did you have it like in a soup, or did you just have it straight up okra?
I believe it was in a soup. It wasn't very good. Yeah.
No, the soup is the best way to eat it without gagging. But I'm sure that we will have very many comments on this very post of people telling you that it's the best thing ever, and you got to try it at grandma's, and there's nothing like it. I'm sorry to call you a lie, but it's nasty.
Well, guys, my girl H.E.R got nominated for like 5 Grammys. I think we're good. R&B is saved, guys. What are your thoughts on H.E.R being nominated for 5, as well as the whole Grammy nomination process in general? And I'll go through each category, but let's hear your thoughts first, Ed.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone knows who's listened to this podcast that I've been a big supporter of H.E.R going way back to the first EP, Volume 1, whatever it was called. And even though we've been critical off and on about the gimmick, which he's kind of backed up off of in recent years, the honest part is this has helped get her name out. So if this allows a talented artist to get new music out there, that's kind of cool. However, I'm a little in my feelings about this Grammy nomination, especially since this isn't a real album. This is just a bunch of those old EPs from way, way back slammed together into one. I know it's technically an album, but it still feels really cheap to me. Good for her. I mean, for most of the people that are nominated, have no business being nominated at all. But if she can come away with the win, it is a win for R&B. But I wish we would nominate real LPs and not made up playlists.
Tom?
Oh man, are you ready for my epic rant, or should we just move on?
I'm ready.
Might as well get it out the way.
First of all, I'm surprised the Grammys could even find 5 R&B artists to nominate. I'm surprised they know that many.
God.
They probably looked on the major label records website and went down the roster and said, "Oh, here's an artist. They're nominated. Did they release an album? Oh no, it was an EP. Oh, that's good enough. We'll take it. You're nominated."
that's probably true, actually.
Second of all, their process starts out like this. All right, time for the R&B nominations. Did Layla Hathaway release anything this year? Oh, she did. Put her in there.
Oh my God.
And I don't mean that as a diss.
Morton and Charlie Wilson.
It's not a diss. It's more like, for some reason, they just are so in love with Layla Hathaway that she could release like a 5-second interlude and would be nominated.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's the same thing with Yolanda Adams. She could sneeze on a track and it's like, oh, Grammy nominated because we got to throw her in the gospel category. I feel what you're saying.
Third of all, and I'm coming to the end of this rant, do we know that if like anyone actually submitted paperwork? I know in the past some artists didn't know how to fill out the forms, so they weren't eligible, and Maya knew how to do it, so she made the cut or something.
Look, Playa, I'm not gonna. If you can't fill out the forms, that's on you. I'm not gonna give you any concessions for that. Maya knows how to fill out paperwork, so good for her for getting her Smooth Jones nomination out of nowhere.
Is it an online form, or do you have to actually mail something in? Because no one mails stuff anymore, so that's too much effort.
Playa, I have no idea how you do it, but I'm pretty sure they're not mailing it through snail mail and taking 3 or 4. You know how late these artists are?
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if some artists just showed up on the day of the Grammys with their album in hand, like trying to get nominated.
With their letter? Like, I filled it out late. Can I turn it in?
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's not too far from what I think actually happens, but you know what? We're going to try to get somebody that's like part of the Grammy committee to speak on this because I need to know. I need to know if Case filled out the ballot and sent it out. We need to know this.
We actually do know someone if you want to bring him on.
We do need to bring him on.
Our friend Ivan Barrios of Carvin and Ivan, the producer, he's part of the Grammy chapter in Philadelphia. He's like the president or something. So
yeah, man, get on that, Kyle. I think that'd be a great discussion.
I think it will too. Plus, Tom just wants another excuse to talk about Music Soul Child. So.
Oh my God, you know that's true.
All right, let's talk about these categories that we have. I'll run them down. You can give me your thoughts, your prediction. We'll revisit this in, I guess, February when the Grammys actually air. But best R&B performance, we have Toni Braxton, Long As I Live, The Carters, Beyonce and Jay-Z's Summer. Didn't even know that was a R&B song, but, you know. Layla Hathaway, Why Oh Why. Daniel Caesar and H.E.R, Best Part. And PJ Morton, First Began. Guys?
Well, first of all, I'll give the Carters a little bit of credit on this one. Summer is probably the only R&B song on that album. The rest of the album is just rap and trap. But that one's kind of an R&B song. It's also no way in any shape, form stands up to anything else on that list. I would say the winner here should be... I would personally pick Toni, but that's who I would pick. The winner will be H.E.R and Daniel Caesar without question.
No, it's not. Are you kidding me? It's definitely going to be the Carters.
Oh my God. I don't think they're that ridiculous.
No,
I think the
trust
Carters
me.
are just there just for to be like, hey, we come to our big party. We nominated you. I don't think they're dumb enough to give them an award.
They never give the younger artists any of these awards. Come on.
Sure they do. They give the hottest artist the award. Whoever has the most buzz. And who has the most buzz out of that category? H.E.R and Caesar.
Secondly, they nominated a random album cut from Layla Hathaway.
That's impressive.
You just explained the reason for that.
I'm just saying, like, they could have been picked a single. The heck is going on?
I mean, I like that song, but again, I wouldn't put it up against these.
All right. So then we have the best traditional R&B performances. I think all of these are piano ballads, but I could be wrong. We have Leon Bridges, Bet Ain't Worth the Hand. I have no idea what that song is about. Honest by Major, that's definitely a piano song. How Deep Is Your Love by PJ Morton. Made for Love, Charlie Wilson and Layla Hathaway. And Don't Fall Apart on Me Tonight by Betty Lavette. Is that her name?
I don't know if I know that song.
I don't know either.
Oh, she's a 72-year-old lady.
What the heck?
I don't know it.
Oh my goodness.
It's traditional, Tom. Traditional R&B.
She's 72 and still knows how to fill out paperwork. That's impressive.
She's probably the only one that still uses snail mail, Tom.
She's the only one that she probably got her turned in first and foremost. They were like, look, she's the first one that got it turned in, so you gonna get it. Leave poor Betty alone. I haven't heard this song, so I can't judge. Most of these songs I haven't heard, so it's hard for me to pick. I mean, the one that stands out the most is Major, but I don't remember that being any prize either.
What's the Layla Hathaway and Charlie Wilson song?
Made for Love?
How is that even nominated? It came out on Charlie Wilson's album in early 2017.
Because it's the Grammy nomination process is the calendar year is so weird. I don't understand it.
No, isn't it like October?
September. Yeah.
It's September to September or something. So that doesn't.
Yeah, it's September to September, but if it's a single, I think they will count that, and I don't know if that's a single. Again,
that was not a single.
They get so weird with this stuff.
They
because
had
there's
no
so
other
many
choices.
caveats.
That goes back to my point number 2 that I made early in my rant. They found some exception to put Layla Hathaway in there once again.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
All right.
Tom is definitely in his feelings right now.
Very.
And we love Layla Hathaway. She's an amazing artist. It's just annoying how this happens every year.
Mm-hmm. All right. Best R&B song, Booed Up by Ella Mai, Come Through and Chill by Miguel, Focus by H.E.R, Long As I Live by Toni Braxton, and Feels Like Summer by Childish Gambino. Tom, now you know 2 songs by Childish Gambino.
Booed Up, I'm looking at its release date, March 2017. Grammy's got it right again.
Well, they had to put that song somewhere in this Grammys, or people
Exactly.
would be pissed.
That was going to go no matter what. Again, I don't think that they even hold to their own rules. As we've talked about a million times on this podcast, Booed Up is ancient.
Who do you guys think is winning this one? I think Booed Up is going to win this.
Probably. I don't know. Again, I could see her win because I'm not that sold on her winning the big prize, and we haven't gotten there yet. But I could definitely see her winning this one.
It's like this is
again.
Ed's
I would
first
pick Long As I Live, but
it's like this is Ed's first award show. I don't understand where these picks are coming from.
So who's winning it, Tom?
First of all, when was the last time had Tom has not watched television since the first run of the Ninja Turtles in 1989. So I don't know how he's trying to tell me how TV shows go. When have you watched an award show?
I know the winners every year and who was right last year in every single one.
I don't watch it, but I know the winners. Please.
It's always going to be the popularity contest, guaranteed.
Not all. It's the popularity contest is definitely for the nominees. Though when it comes to the awards, though, not necessarily. And that's why you see all the children yelling and screaming on Twitter about getting snubbed the next night.
Listen, if this was based on talent, then Music Soul Child wouldn't have lost 14 Grammys.
Sometimes the Grammys get it right.
Get out of here. Keith Sweat probably sold off his Grammy award to get that stupid white leather jacket with bunny fur on the hood. First,
no one knows what you're talking about but me. But Kyle shared a photo in the Soul and Stereo Cypher. Go to Facebook and check it out. And my man Keith is rocking a white leather with the fur on top. I would think that I'm going to put that on my Christmas list. Ask the wifey to hook a brother up with that. That would be quite flawless for the January season.
And I will send PETA to your front door.
Oh, PETA would throw paint all over it.
I think that jacket was a little too thick for Keith because he looked like he was sweating bullets out there. He didn't look too good.
No, Keith looked like he had a rough night.
All right, so Tom, back on topic. This is a popularity contest, so who's winning this award? Best R&B song.
No, it's going to be either Ella Mai or Toni Braxton. It most likely will depend on if Toni Braxton shows up or not to the event. If not, they're going to give it to Ella Mai.
All right, then. Next, we've got Best Urban Contemporary Album. I would doubt Tom listened to any of these albums, but let's find out. We got the Carters, Everything Is Love. The Kids Are Alright, Chloe and Haley. Chris, Dave, and Drumheads, self-titled. War and Leisure by Miguel. And I can't even pronounce this one. Michelle, I can't even pronounce this person's name. Ed?
Who are you talking about?
Michelle Endicello?
Yeah. Oh, Michelle Endicello, yes.
Okay. You know this artist?
Playa. She's a pretty big deal.
Oh.
I'm sorry she didn't do any Neptune's remixes, but yeah, she's a big deal.
All right, then.
I have some breaking news here. I did some Wikipedia research, and I just found out that I previously misspoke about Keith Sweat's Grammy. He was never even nominated for a Grammy. Is that true, Ed?
Ooh.
It's true.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
I was going to let it slide. It's true.
Not only did he not win, but he's never been nominated? Oh.
once again, this is why the Grammys are pointless.
Whew. I won't let that one go anytime soon.
Look, Playa, let me tell you. You took at the list of legends that have never won a Grammy. That's why y'all put way too much faith in it. When Macklemore is walking around with 5 or 6 of them, and Biggie has 0, I think I'm not putting a lot of stock into these dudes.
Listen, Music Soul Child will slap you with his 13 Grammy participation certificates.
I think I can stand up to his paper. He's going to be throwing paper at me.
Yep.
Guys, let's focus at hand. Urban Contemporary album.
Yes, because y'all got me riled up. Okay.
I guess the Carters are winning this one.
Yeah.
No,
Miguel's not getting away with this one.
No, Miguel is the best album in this list. The Carters is not an R&B album at all, but it probably is going to come away with a win.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing. About 5 years ago, Kyle made me watch the pre-show of the Grammys, the technical section or whatever they call it, where they hand out the R&B awards. Man, that was the most sad thing I've ever seen.
Were there even people in the audience yet?
Not really. They were just reading off name after name. No one even knew what was going on. I think there was a buffet in the back. I don't know.
Oh my God.
It's not even in the same arena. So... yeah, no one shows up to that.
No, I think that's the participation trophies, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right. Best R&B album. I think because we're all R&B fanatics, we've listened to every single one of these albums. I'm looking at the list right now, and that might not actually be true. But
oh gosh,
Sex and Cigarettes by Toni Braxton, Good Thing by Leon Bridges. I think Leon Bridges is also an automatic Grammy nomination at this point. Honestly, by Layla Hathaway. Her, the 2 EPs, and Gumbo Unplugged by PJ Morton. Who's winning this one, guys?
You already know the answer.
I don't think the Carters are winning this. I honestly don't know.
They're not on this one.
Oh, my brain is still stuck on the other one. Well, who do you think is winning this one, Tom?
Toni Braxton, if she shows up, but most likely Layla Hathaway.
Either way. Yeah, I'm leaning toward Layla. Toni ain't winning this, no way. But
they're gonna give her They're gonna give Toni something just because of her name.
Not really.
Damn.
All right.
No one's giving my girl H.E.R. that win, because if she wins Best R&B, she has a good shot of winning Best Album. Can you win Best Album of the Year and not... Hold on, Ed, can you win Best Album of the Year but not Best R&B Album of the Year? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can. And the thing is, a lot of times, for instance, if H.E.R. wins this category, H.E.R. probably won't win the main one. Like, that's usually how they do this. That's why I think it's dumb to nominate them for both, because usually you get one or the other. So if H.E.R. wins this, she ain't winning the big one. So listen, I can see it's either H.E.R. or Layla's gonna win, but I can see it going anyway.
Let me explain something. You can't give an award to someone where 95% of the room is going to be like, "Who?" That's my analysis.
Well, thank you for that poignant analysis. Good God.
That's how the Grammys work. I don't say it. I don't agree.
Everybody in the room will know Layla, H.E.R, and Toni. So that's not...
No. You think random people know who H.E.R is that don't listen to R&B?
H.E.R got nominated for the main award. That doesn't count. It's not like they nominated Cherry V. Like, they nominated her. Like, that... she's going to be a person.
Shout outs to Cherry V.
Listen, Ed. No one even listens to R&B anymore, so just give it up.
Well, we know you don't. You just stick with Music Soul Child 2003.
All right. Let's move on, guys. Tom, this one's for you. Who's going to win this one? Because I know you like all 5 songs. Best Rap Performance. Be Careful by Cardi B. Nice for What by Drake. I know you especially love that song. King's Dead by Kendrick. Bubblin' by Anderson .Paak, or Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. I think he mentions Jamba Juice in that song, so I think you might go with that one.
Oh.
If Tom knows any of these songs, I would be shocked. Have you heard any of those?
Yeah. I'm forced to hear this music. Kidding me? You can't go out to a store without hearing this crap.
They are playing Cardi B in the grocery store in New York. Good luck.
Yes.
I might have to skip my next visit.
I know that song, believe it or not. I know the Drake song. I think that's all. I don't know. I probably know Sicko Mode if I heard it, but I don't know it offhand. But anyway, this is an interesting one, actually. I'm curious to see who's going to win it.
You're going to watch?
Absolutely not. I'll read about it the next day.
He'll read about it the next day and then armchair quarterback about, oh, I knew they were going to pick this.
Well, why would you watch it? Are you that bored on a Sunday night that you need to watch this?
Oh, it's brutal. I usually review it, and good Lord, I'm up to like 3 in the morning. That's not even an exaggeration, because it goes so freaking long.
Let's get into some of the other categories. These aren't just R&B artists, but there are some R&B artists involved in it. Best New Artists, a couple of R&B names in there. We have Georgia Smith, we have Chloe and Haley, and we have H.E.R. Weirdly enough, this award has like 8 nominations. I don't know why, or 8 nominees. I think H.E.R. is gonna win this one, but Georgia Smith might take it. I'm not sure.
I think of those 3, H.E.R. is the number one, but I'd have to see the other nominees, because if it's a freaking Cardi B or somebody in it, that's who's gonna win.
We got BB Rex, actually. BB might win it, or Dua Lipa. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Did you just like belch? I don't know what you said.
So she's pretty big. Her name. I remember hearing all these pop songs on the radio when I was at the gym. Whoever has the most pop hits is going to win.
Well, the last person to win this award was Alessia Cara, and her last album like flopped really badly. So this might not be the award to win.
And it was okay. So it's unfortunately that's how it is.
Yep. Let's go through the 3 main categories. So for Record of the Year, we have a song that I despise, Cardi B, I Like It.
I hate it.
We have Brandy Carlisle, The Joker.
Can I just make a point?
Go ahead.
Well, we've been waiting for you to make one all morning. Okay.
Why are we even still talking about this crap? Can we move on?
Okay.
I'm tired of talking about I didn't want to talk about the Grammys at all. You guys got me all fired up. Now let's move on.
All right. Well, let me just then point out that Album of the Year, H.E.R. is nominated for it, as well as Janelle Monáe. Weirdly enough, that one wasn't nominated for any other category, so I'm not sure how it ended up on this one, but I think it's deserving.
I think that they threw it up there because, to Tom's one point that he made that was actually accurate, these nominations are based on buzz. Janelle is a big deal in Hollywood, unfortunately a bigger deal in Hollywood than music. But if we're looking at quality, it's the best album by far in that raggedy category.
So you're saying that winning. my paperwork comment was off base?
That one was number 2 in accuracy, because that one's probably pretty close.
The Layla one had to be number 1.
Listen, Layla is out here filling out her paperwork early like Ned Flanders does his taxes. So she gets it in early and often, and she gets all the nominations. Your boy Case is probably still sitting in his mailbox.
I feel like Layla is the type to like bake a batch of fresh brownies for the committee too to get nominated. You know, she sends her paperwork in, sends some nice brownies.
Oh, if I'm on the committee, I'm hitting her up. We getting her every year. Layla look like she can make some brownies.
Calm down. And then just want to mention Song of the Year, Boot Up is on it, as well as Tom's favorite song, God's Plan. Drake is like nominated for a bunch of awards, so shout outs to Canada.
Absolutely not.
Kyle will never miss a chance to shout out LMA or H.E.R. at this point, I realized. It's getting bad.
Oh, yeah. We got to get some... Listen, we've got the queens of R&B settled at this point of this generation. Now we got to figure out who the king of R&B is. Guys, last week on Twitter, Instagram, social media, it was going nuts. and Jacquees, who we've talked about on this podcast before, and not in a negative light, actually. We've been okay with him. We haven't really bashed him too much, aside from him looking like Quavo and Lil Wayne. But he went on record and claimed that he was the king of R&B. And the most important thing to remember is he claimed that he was the R&B of this generation. But Ed, as you know, Twitter doesn't read, Instagram doesn't listen, and they just started a whole king of R&B debate. What the heck is going on?
I have never... I mean, we're talking, this lasted for 48 straight hours. I have never... major news outlets were reporting about this. Because these people were like, what is happening in this discussion? Because this dominated the social media conversation for 2 straight days. To your point, he did try to say, for his generation. I still think that's a lie. So he still deserved to get ate up. But it doesn't matter because people don't listen. People read headlines and they read half the headline. And a lot of people didn't even know who he was. So we saw, it's of course, at the end of the day, he kind of wins because there was a huge bump in his streams because people were listening to his music because we're like, who is this guy? Quavo guy's singing R&B now? So in the end, he got a whole lot of buzz, and we've heard a lot of artists come out of the woodwork, from John Legend to your boy Bobby V to our boy Jay Holiday arguing with the lady in the parking lot. It was a hilarious couple days, and some people have said, oh, this is great for R&B. I am not as impressed, and here's why. Because we talk about, and not we, because, as you know, we are the kings of R&B podcasting. But when social media yaks about something and we say, oh, this is a big victory, is it? How are these people going to keep the same energy when it's time for these albums to drop? Are these the same people that's streaming? Are y'all suddenly going to these shows? Or y'all just talking about something that you're not very experienced on for 2 seconds and then you go back to talking about something else? So, yes, it was cool to see R&B in the headlines for like a day. But is this going to transfer over to uplifting the genre? I ain't convinced.
It's definitely not. I mean, people already forgot about it. And then it's like back to normal. All it did was help out Jacquees. He probably gained like an extra 1 million followers just based off of this. So
exactly,
good for everyone. But the only thing I'll say about him, at least he acknowledges those who came before him. He had 90s artists on his album. He was just working with Case in the studio. He had Donell Jones in his video. I mean, who else is even doing that that's his age? I'll give him credit for that. I mean...
no question.
I also found it funny that the people who got the most worked up and upset about this was Kyle's whole generation. I don't know why they took it personal. It seemed like mine and Ed's generation just shrugged it off, and Kyle's all ran to Instagram video to start acting all pissed off. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's pretty hilarious because, I mean, the real kings don't have to worry about the comments of the peasants. They were like, we good, let the children talk. But everybody else got in their feelings and started talking crazy and fighting with each other. I'm like, this isn't very kingly behavior.
What do you think? What do you think, Kyle?
Well, it was pretty funny seeing Pleasure P ready to go to war, and we'll talk about Jay Holiday later. Yeah, I don't know. It was you know what? It's cause, you know what it is. It's because all those artists from my generation, they started out so young. So now they're probably in their early 30s. They still think they're part of this generation, and I think that's where the confusion lies, even with our fans, because they think Chris Brown is part of this new generation. I beg to differ. You can't put Chris Brown, Lloyd, and Daniel Caesar in the same category. It doesn't make sense. But you can definitely put Mario in that same category with Lloyd and Chris Brown. So it's just generational. Is Jacquees the king of R&B right now? I don't think so, but to be honest, if you look at what's out there, and shout outs to Soulchild, because DJ Soulchild, that is, he listed out a bunch of new artists or current artists that he thought that he thinks is better than Jacquees, but realistically, like, some might be making better music, but I can't think of anyone who has more buzz than Jacquees, at least right now. I think he mentioned like Tone Stith, He mentioned Luke James, just a bunch of different artists. But in terms of buzz, I can't think of anyone other than Jacquees. He did well at the Soul Train Awards a couple of weeks ago, so shout-outs to the king of R&B.
Oh, no. But see, here's the thing with Jacquees and his quote-unquote buzz. And this tells me all I needed to know. When I looked at these music outlets, well, actually it tells me two things about him and about the quote-unquote music media today that absolutely has no idea what they're talking about. Everybody referred to Jacquees as the singer of Trip. Like, that is his biggest claim to fame. They don't even realize that A, that's not his song, and B, that he has an album out with actually pretty notable hits. Not huge hits, not nearly as big as he thinks they are, but he certainly has some bigger stuff than singing Chris Brown covers and LMA songs. But because the R&B state is where it is, number one, the journalists that y'all put so much faith into don't even know this guy for real. And number two, this guy's biggest claim to fame is singing somebody else's song. You want some karaoke stuff. How are you the king of R&B and no one can name 3 of your songs? That's why I am not impressed by the hype.
Tom, have you seen that video of Jacquees where he's singing, but it sounds like he's trying to, like someone's trying to start up a car? Have you seen that video?
Yes, that did circulate a while back. Yep.
That is a classic. And then, funny enough, Ed, you mentioned his remix of Trip. You can't actually find that anywhere on the internet anymore. I think DJ Mustard and his label took it down, and you can't find any traces of it. At one point, though, a fan did upload it to Pornhub, so people could find it there.
Oh my god.
So
apparently this is a thing. I've heard of people uploading like whole movies and stuff there because you can get around YouTube. But it's weird that, to me, and I think we've had this conversation on this podcast before, so I don't want to go into it. But I remember with the Trip situation, everybody made LMA the bad guy and was like, "Oh, there's this beef, and she's blocking Jacquees." That's not LMA. That's her label. Her label. This is right before her album was about to drop. They didn't want this dude who apparently everybody thinks this song is his to steal her shine. So that's just business. It's shady, but I'm not mad at them. So again, it's just more hype, more controversy for this fake king for y'all to get hyped about. It's all weird. Can somebody just give me a halfway decent album? Because all these people we've named have not given me a halfway decent album this year. I'm finishing up my top albums of the year, and none of the names that we named are on it. So step your game up.
I'll say one other thing, though. He took a picture at the Soul Train Awards with John B. So, to me, the fact that he even knows who John B. is impressive. Because anyone under 25 usually doesn't know who he is because they're stupid to look up their history. And then the rest of the people out there, I'd say about 90%, think John B. last released an album in like 2001. So,
Pleasures
we
you
gotta
like.
give this guy some
That's what we
credit.
talked about last week.
Yep.
Not even
So
2001. They think Cool Relax. People don't even remember that.
Oh my goodness, these fans.
Fans, quote unquote.
So it was cool to see that this discussion circulated outside of the R&B community. I saw like Shaq. He made an Instagram video claiming that he was the king of R&B. Kevin Hart claimed that he was the king. And then Diddy and Snoop both made videos that said, you know what, we should all think that we're kings in our own right. Which is true. Like, you got to give Jacquees some credit because he's confident in himself. So we'll give him credit for that. But Diddy did make one interesting point, and I'd like for you guys
pissed me off. Yes,
to partake in this. Diddy essentially said, as far as R&B right now, no one's making it. So the title is open. I want to see some real R&B be made right now because it's not happening in present time. So.
First of all, Sean, since you're such an A-list producer, if you want to see R&B, how about you make it? You used to do that. Secondly, I'm sick of people, again, fans, telling me that there's no R&B being made. When I've got a whole list that I'm looking at right in front of me, we are going to be dropping our 100 R&B songs of the year. I'm looking at 114 R&B songs right on my desk right now, but nobody's making R&B. Or are you not paying attention to it? If you stop for the 5 seconds, if you stop trapping and you stop making dumb challenge videos, you will see that there's plenty of R&B, and you don't have to go back to H.E.R.'s 2 EPs and making up fake albums for it to be there. When legends and so-called people in the know are saying that stuff isn't being made, when you made your name off of the genre itself, it makes me want to choke you. We had Jermaine Dupri on a few months ago who talked about how R&B was very important to him, and the reason why he stopped by this podcast was because he wanted to support the genre that helped build his empire. That's respect for the game. But if you were talking about, oh, there's no R&B, and you're sitting around a generation of new artists coming up who are making good songs, we got 114 of them right in my grill right now, and you aren't paying attention, that says more about you than the genre, Puff.
And it's funny because I actually just came across a TMZ interview. They were talking to Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, and they were asking him about this whole Kings of R&B discussion. And partway through that interview, they asked him what was his favorite R&B album of the year, and he quickly changed the question to, oh, what's my favorite rap album of the year? And he started just listing a bunch of rap albums. So clearly, I doubt anyone in the mainstream is listening to R&B.
Why are we going to these experts and they don't even listen to R&B? That is what makes me crazy. Why are we talking about Jacquees, the singer of Trip? Why are we asking Puff when the last R&B song he made was in 2001 with Faith and Carl Thomas? Like, this is ridiculous. There are so many artists out here, and we joke about Layla Hathaway and folks like that, but there are so many people uplifting the genre, doing what they love and keeping the music alive. That's what we're doing here with this podcast. That we got to hear these people who are pretending to be experts not even know what they're talking about. They're spreading misinformation, and it's disrespectful to the artists out here that are killing it. Drives me crazy, dog. Got me hot this morning.
Guys, are we ready for the Playa Please award?
We're ready.
You know it.
This one might rile up everyone, but Zeplyn, our good friend Zeplyn, was supposed to be on the podcast, and Tom, I was going to give him a Playa Please award, but he's not even here.
What did he do?
Oh,
well,
boy. Don't do this again.
According to my sources,
Don't do this again.
I think Zeplyn checks his Google mentions, so if I mention his name, he'll find it. Tom, according to Tom anyway, I don't know how accurate this is, Zeppelin claims that LMA's debut is the best R&B album in the last 5 years. Is it, Tom?
That's what he said.
Playa. What?
You can't discuss this if he's not here to defend himself. Remember the last time?
That's
okay,
true.
right.
Let the man have his say, but I will say that that's a straight up lie.
Well, where
We
would
love
you
you,
put
Zeppelin.
it? Where would you put the thing?
Like I said, I am currently finishing up my 50 best albums of the year. It ain't on it. So I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Really?
It ain't on it.
We'll have Zeppelin on here soon to talk more about the younger generation and his thoughts. He's of that generation, so it'll be interesting.
And I like the album a lot, but I don't think it's in that stratosphere of the best of the year.
Listen, the best in the last 5 years is Black Rose, no question.
Now I gotta kick you in the kneecaps.
And I'm here to defend myself, so.
Oh, boy.
So we can call you a lie to your face, so yes.
All right.
I'm actually not sure what the best is. I'd have to think about it. Certainly ain't Black Rose, but I have to think about it.
All right. The second Playa Please, I mean, we got to give it to Jay Holiday.
I knew
feel
this was
bad,
coming.
but I think this is a deserved Playa Please.
Another one who'd gladly want to come here to defend himself, but carry on.
He would.
Listen, he made a video, and he was mad that Jacquees claimed that he was the king of R&B, and Jay Holiday, as expected, went on a swearing and a cussing. He was just cussing everywhere. And then in the midst of his rant, somebody asked if he was valet. And he said, "I'm not valet. I wear a Gucci jacket. Do I look like valet?" So here's my thing. Listen, he dressed like he was valet, so I'm not going to be mad at anyone for that. But why would you not just re-record that video? Like, you're asking
That's
to
what
be
I'm
clown.
saying. I'm glad he didn't, because it made it so much more hilarious.
Oh, man. Where was he? He just decided in a random parking lot to start recording this video?
Yeah, he was just outside.
It couldn't wait till he got home?
No, he had to state his case right there on the side of the street.
That's pretty funny. Like, he was so fired up.
I wonder if his
He was
battery
pretty
was at
fired
like
up.
2%. He probably had his battery at like 2%. He had one shot at it, and that's what we got.
No, I think he was so impressed with the rant he had done up to the point that he got asked the question, he didn't want to have to do it over.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But as a result of that, he pretty much was made fun universally all throughout social media. So, I mean, Jay Holiday has a new song out, 25 to Life, which is actually pretty good. But this is not the best way to start out your comeback.
No, I love that song. One of again, when I was looking at my list of our best of the year, that will be on it, I'm sure, in some capacity. But Jay Holiday, you know we love him. We love Jay Holiday. But that was just the funniest moment of the King of R&B madness that we experienced. Because it was so scripted. Like, I was like, did you plan this? Because it can't be happenstance.
Kyle, can I bring up a topic?
Yep.
You might have discussed this last week, I'm not sure. But man, this 112 stuff is bothering me.
Oh boy. We sort of discussed it.
I'm not going to rant about it, but like, I just want to see the whole group back together.
No, and I'm with you. Y'all know that I'm a big 112 fan.
We will support all the members no matter what. And in fact, you know, all the members individually usually shout us out for supporting, but man, it's just not the same. Not at all.
Okay. Well, question for you guys. Do you even consider this new reincarnation with Mike, Slim, and the two backup dancers, do you refer to them as 112?
No. I mean, I don't refer to Casey and JoJo as Jodeci. Like,
that's a good point. But they're calling themselves 112, aren't they?
Yep.
They are, but to me, it's not 112. Again, I love them to death. I've been a huge supporter of both, but that ain't 112.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But it's not the same.
Well, what about Smokey and Black being in Dru Hill? They have an album coming out next year, by the way, Dru Hill, with Smokey and Black on it, but do you guys consider that to be Dru Hill? Tom, I know you don't.
Well, it's so weird because we're kind of far from where the lineup originated. Now there's no more Woody, there's no more Jazz, and we added what's his name, Tao. So it's like really you only have Cisco from the original.
And you just completely left out my boy Scola. I see how it is.
Yeah,
Scola. I mean, Nokio doesn't even sing on anything, so you wouldn't notice the difference. So you really just have Cisco from the original,
basically. But I know people are going to call me out for this. But this, I feel like it's a little different. And it might be because Dru Hill has evolved so much over the years. It feels weird because it's Playa in it. Because those two are very prominent members of another group. They're not just two randoms that came from America's Got Talent or something. Like, they're two stars in their own right. But that feels more like a Dru Hill to me than the two guys from 112 and two randoms. And again, it might not be fair, but in my brain, it connects a little bit better. But the Dru Hill thing just feels like Dru Hill and Playa. Like, that feels like two separate things.
I gotta be honest, guys. That situation bothers me too. Doesn't feel right,
leave-
guys.
Do you
It
lose sleep
feels
over
to
this,
me.
I do. I think about it at night sometimes.
Tom? Wow.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
and first of all, can I just make a few points on this topic?
Do you think?
Smokey and Black don't even get a prominent part in the performances. It's almost like we're going to do Dru Hill songs and then bring these guys out for a little piece, and then we'll go back to doing our thing.
Yeah, and I was gonna bring that up. Like, that's the one thing that kind of bothers me. In my brain, it's kind of like LSG TGT type thing, where it's like a super group, not really a group, but I still feel like the sounds mesh a little better. When they come out with an actual song together, an actual project, I think I'll be able to better judge. But I think the potential is there better than... It doesn't seem as fragmented to me. I guess that's the best way to put it.
The other thing that bothers me is it's almost like, you know, we're all Playa fans. The legacy is pretty much like over now. I mean, we always were hoping for some type of comeback, and you know, like all groups come back, but now it's like that died, and you have Static,
like
we want to keep Static's memory alive, but now it's like he's even further from that being a possibility, with the group just pretty much ending.
Right, and Dru Hill is basically literally eating the remains of Playa, so it's kind of, they're gone.
Yeah,
and then
finally, because
go ahead,
go on, Tom. Well, I was gonna say, like, now when Smokey and Black post on Instagram, their hashtag is just "We Are Dru Hill." There's no mention of Playa, so
That's true.
And then the final thing I'm saying, I'm happy these guys are finally getting their shine, getting to go on tour. But man, these two act like a bunch of tourists on Instagram. Like, they're just happy to be there.
No, that's how it should be.
Black is
But that's
talking about
Instagram, though.
Dude,
listen.
Black is talking about time
listen.
to make the donuts. Smokey's en route somewhere.
Oh, you're still on the donuts thing?
Tom, listen, I can't blame them. If I had a chance to leave the South, I would be celebrating as well. Right, Ed?
There you go. 100%. 100.
I'm just kidding.
They
you
got
two
saved.
are not going to make it to the end of this podcast. Let me get, I can't wait to get my boy Zeplyn. Can't wait to get my boy Barry. We're going to be like our own Dru Hill, our own 112. We're going to have our own splinter podcast. Call it the SoulBack podcast.
Damn.
That'll be an
Barry
interesting
Barnes, we
discussion.
love ya. Where is Barry
Oh, we
Barnes
kill
these
each
days?
other. I don't know if we would make it through the first episode.
It'll be a
Wow.
pilot episode. I want to mention this before we get out of here. Did you guys... Well, I know you guys didn't, but Pleasure P was on Drink Champs, Noriega's podcast the other day, and it was a really interesting story, and I think I'd like to share it with you guys, just because I think it's pretty crazy music business stuff. So, at the time, Pleasure P and Static wrote Lollipop for Lil Wayne. That was around the same time he was trying to leave Pretty Ricky. So the problem with that was he was contractually obligated to the group, which meant that basically they owned all his rights, all his publishing. So Static and him wrote the song, placed it on Lil Wayne, and in order for Pleasure to really release the song, he had to put it under another person's name, because if he put it under his own name, Pretty Ricky was going to block the release of the song and no one would get paid. Or the song wouldn't come out, so no one would get money from it. So Pleasure P put it under his boy's name, who was, I guess, his manager at the time. So all the Grammys and credits and all of that, it's under his manager's name. And after that, his manager just ran off with the money, and we haven't seen him since.
I had not heard this story until you told me before we started recording. And if this is not a cautionary tale for anybody entering the business, to make sure you get your paperwork right, shout out to Layla Hathaway, because I bet her paperwork is A1, 100%. But, man, this industry is a beast.
Yeah. And just to put it in perspective for you, Tom, Lollipop was a #1 record. And the new Drake song, In My Feelings, that samples Lollipop. So Pleasure P could have still been eaten, but instead he's fighting people on Instagram over the king of R&B.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Hold on, Kyle. There's one more critical topic which we didn't touch on.
Which?
Did you know that Kyle said the most real talk thing to me the other day.
What's that?
Robin Thicke ruined his whole career over one huge hit single. Basically, that single ruined his whole career. That's
some real talk. It's sad, but that's some real talk.
And now Thicke is back, but man, he did it to himself, though. It's not like the single ruined his life. He didn't accept the accountability. He was doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing, and here we are.
Well, I think the single was the nail in the coffin, but dude had already dug the grave and laid up in the casket, so that's the bad thing. And I like his new single a lot, but man, talk about when a mega hit can put you in the grave.
And he's back, guys. Actually, what do you guys think?
I like the song. I thought it was very honest. It was nice hearing an acoustic song for once. That wasn't like super boring, John Legend. But I like the song. I'm glad Robin Thicke is back. I know we were waiting on an album after Morning Sun because that was a great song. And I don't know what's going to come out of this one, but hey man, I'm always here for new Robin Thicke music. I know at times we thought he was overrated, but at this point, I'm just happy we have the man back.
Yeah, the new song is called Testify, I think. And like you said, there have been times where he has been overrated, but he's still a magnificent artist. So I think time has passed. I think it's time for us to kind of embrace him as a talent and not be so critical of him as his personal life, because we can tear that up all day long. And just to be real, R&B needs another voice like that. Like, we need another talented, respected veteran voice who can bring the goods. And when he's focused, he can bring the goods. So I'm all for it.
And he's independent now, so that'll be interesting. He linked up with Kyle's favorite company, Empire.
Oh, yes.
What do they do again? They're just like label services?
Yeah, they just do distribution, from my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Welcome back, Robin Thicke. And then I just want to make a quick plug that Tone Stith released his new EP, Good Company, New R&B Artists, on RCA. He has a record out. Tom, you'll be very excited, with Quavo and Sway Lee. I know you love them. EP is pretty good. Kind of sounds a little samey after a while, but it's good. He's talented, and I know he's working on his own project, his own debut album, so look forward to that in 2019. Before we get out of here, Tom, can you give us the SoulBack track of the day?
Should I pick a random Jacquees song, since he's our honorary king of this podcast?
Oh my gosh, you really trying to push your luck.
You guys put some of his songs on our countdown, so what are you even complaining about?
No, we have been very complimentary of his career, but ain't nobody call him no king.
Okay. So he's got this song called 23, and it's featuring Donell Jones, but Donell Jones is not even on the song. But that's my pick for the day.
Oh, there you go. Wait, didn't you?
I like that song a lot.
It is a good song.
Huh?
Didn't you blame Donell Jones for Jacquees blowing up?
We'll bring Donell Jones on here to explain this whole thing sometime.
Darnell
Jones.
That's, you know what it is? That's a southern accent trying to say Donell, don't you think?
You don't put R's in there. That's not a southern accent. You don't say Darnell.
That was a valid theory, actually, Tom. I would have believed that.
Yeah, see?
No, this theory is trash, just like both of your opinions today. Good
no,
Lord.
If you have a heavy accent, you cannot even say Donell. It just comes out as Darnell.
I could see you saying like Donell or something like that, but Darnell, and you wouldn't spell it out. We've seen it spelled out Darnell. That's the problem.
No, the accent carries over. The accent carries over
to your fingers?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, Ed, what's going on with soulandstereo.com?
Playa, we got to end this podcast before I end lives. Soulandstereo.com. We're kind of wrapping up for the year. We spent the last week or so continuing to count down our favorite Christmas albums. We've had our readers share their albums, and it's been some cool stuff. And today, in fact, I think someone shared their Dru Hill album at Christmas in Baltimore, which was pretty great. But I'm not sure when this podcast is posting and be live, but on Monday, we are going live with our 50 best albums of 2018. Yes, I'm doing 50 albums this year in one big list because I just listen to that much stuff. So see a list that will not include LMA and check out the most unbiased list of the best of the year on the internet. Because I'm seeing some of y'all lists and they look terrible. This one's good though.
All right. Tom, what's going on with You Know I Got Soul? I know we all sent you our spreadsheets for the songs of the year.
Yep. We'll have that out shortly, within next week, hopefully. We probably will do like a 10 best albums of R&B coming soon. That might be a stretch, but we'll try.
Oh, you can do 10. Don't do more than that.
Fine. We just ran a couple interviews on the site that we partnered with Zeplyn with. I wish he was here to talk about them, so probably next time he'll be back to speak about those, but check them out. I wish we had more time to talk about Monica. She created a foundation called Be Human to create positive change in society. It seems like no one cared to even talk about that. They'd rather talk about the King thing on the internet. I even asked people, I begged people, please focus on this. No one cared, so that's the world we live in.
Yeah, people only cared about Monica dating. Who is she dating now? Like, what's that guy name? Kevin Whatchcom? The rapper dude.
I thought she was married.
Kevin Gates?
Kevin Gates. Like, they're like booed up in some picture or something. Yeah, I thought she was too.
I don't know.
I don't know, but there's a picture of them booed up and Twitter went crazy. But yes, Monica, I thought was... I'm not going to add to the drama. Let's focus on her charity. Focus on that. I'm turned into a Twitter guy.
See?
All right. On a side note, so one of the interviews Zeppelin did do was Justine Skye, and she no longer has purple hair, if that matters to anyone here.
Let's just listen to her song 2 seconds ago.
No, she doesn't need purple hair to be successful.
Okay. Well, we love the purple hair. We should all get purple hair.
I know.
Wow.
So let's end off the podcast. I'm going to ask you guys one question without thinking. I'm going to ask you guys both. Who is the king of R&B? Ed?
I talked about this on the Soul and Stereo Cypher. Go on Facebook and check it out. 80s, Luther Vandross. 90s, R. Kelly. 2000s, Usher. 2010, Cousin Chris Brown. End of conversation.
All right, Tom, without thinking, king of R&B.
Yeah, I got the answer already. I'm not gonna break it down by generation though. I'm gonna say this guy rules the whole R&B, and everyone must bow down to him. Ready for this? Charlie Wilson. That's not a joke. Why are you laughing?
You know why I'm laughing. You're laughing.
He is by far the best performer. We seen him perform a 2-hour, 3-hour show at the Essence Festival. He performed the whole night. I think he was still performing when we woke up the next day, right, Kyle?
He was. Some say he's still doing it right now.
The choo-choo train and all that. He makes consistent, quality music. He's respected universally. He's humble. He's got the hits. He's been at it for a while. I can't see why he wouldn't be the king.
He is the most enduring R&B artist of the past, might be 40 years. That I'll agree on. I don't know if I say king, though. But I'd take him over Jacquees.
You guys are all wrong on this. The king of R&B, you guys are right. They have to have hits. They have to be talented. But they also have to be physically imposing. They have to have hit records. And so...
Physically imposing?
Physically imposing. They have to be 6'7". So the king of R&B is Montel Jordan. Game over.
Oh my goodness.
Game over is the perfect word for this podcast. Good.
All right, guys. That seems to be it for this week's podcast. The kings of R&B are signing out. You can go back to listening to Jacquees, which is what we will be doing We might not be doing that, but maybe. But we will definitely be listening to music. Soul Child, Keith Sweat, and Mario. You guys have yourself a good weekend, and I think we'll probably have one more before the end of the year. If not, then Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right. Peace.